All right, guys, just doing a weekly review here and looking at over on the week, I was up about $4,600, which is pretty good considering the opportunities weren't there. Now that's in the main account. Actually, my options account, starting with $364, I was up uh, 750. So I have a lot more in the main account, and from a percentage standpoint, obviously that's a lot more speculative account, that small account. But anyway, just going through this quickly. SMCI, or I'm sorry, Nexi was a day trade. SMCI was a swing. I got in here as it broke above. Kind of got in a little bit earlier on this, and then, but it didn't pop up on the scanners until later. And then I got out here. So I think I held that one, two, and then out on day three. Mara, I got in on the short and with 2,000 shares. I'm still holding. That's the only position I'm holding right now as a runner. It's 500 shares left. And that's actually that 500 shares is responsible for the bulk of my gains from the week. NKTX was a short that I took. Now that actually spiked up here. Where was it that I shorted that? I think it was right there. So if we go, let's go to a 2-minute. Let's rewind the clock. Go back. Look at that here. Let's clean this up too and erase all these levels that I have. All right, so I did, let me brighten this screen a little bit, take color filters off. So I actually did update the color coding that I have. So I like to trade by signals and trade by colors essentially. And if you look at it, the orange is hot. I might have to change the colors a little bit because it's kind of hard to see. This is actually red. And then you have a red dot here. So basically what that's saying is you have the largest volume. It's a 252 bar volume high. And then there's coding in here. I mean, yes, I don't really need the coding, the colors. It's just a way to make it simple. And, really when you get emotional in trading, you start becoming colorblind in a sense. But it's obviously like, it's okay. If I bought in here and I'm holding and I'm expecting to go up to here and now this is red and I'm still holding, it's like, Eric, why are you ignoring like what's right in front of your face? And the color coding does help me with that. But this is such a clean move right here. You get, you have just stair stepping higher. This is a buy here, the green. You have a 50 simple moving average moving up. It's an uptrend, right? And then you're above the 10 here, and that's green, and that's all great. And then you're above any type of anchor VWAP. You're above the VWAP. So you have a nice clean move here. In the daily, it was breaking out above. Actually, I think I did take this long as it broke above. I'll flip to the daily chart in a second. And that's where I think I had a loss on it. But then I got in like right here and then sold out like right here. I should have held on a little bit longer because this ended up pulling back about 20%, right? So it's a 2-minute chart. It doesn't look like much. But the ADR at this point here was over 4.15 ADR in a 2-minute chart, which that's kind of insane. But that's what people day trade, right? And that's what I was doing here. You have to day trade very high volatile stocks in play. If you're trying to day trade something like a Tesla with shares, it's not really going to work out for you too well, unless you have like a really big account. Yeah, this is the high. So it took. Maybe I'm thinking of another stock. Let's see. Was there a weekly level? No monthly level. So anyway, so these are my biggest. I mean, Nexi, SMCI, Mara, and then Mara. This position here that I'm holding, 4,400. Now that's only a fourth of the position that's left. So the importance of runners there cannot be overstated. Mara, Sana. Now JP Morgan, I scalped a lot on Friday. Now this broke out to, you had, is this a new volume high? It should show up as a new volume. No, it's a bigger volume back here actually, right, when I had this gap up. So this came up here. Anyway, it broke out the new highs. I did a separate video on that, and I ended up shorting it, or taking it long, and then shorting it. So I actually played that really well, both in my main account and the options account. And it's a slower mover, but it was actually a move. That ADR on JP Morgan is 1.46, but the day's range here, I mean, it was a range of 8%, So it had a lot of range. Not something I would typically trade, um, but when it's in play and there's news, it just had earnings. That's something that you can play. Soxel, Nexi, CCCC. Don't really remember trading that. Actually, I think I did take that short as well. I was scalping that. So the rest of these are just smaller. Let's move this up a little bit. Let's get into the losses. I flip this here. Acon, and that was the biggest loss of the week. And I took that here on the open. So if we go back, let's look at a 15-minute chart right here. So the ADR is 9, almost 10 on a 15-minute chart. But I got in here and it just immediately went down. And I didn't get out quite fast enough at all. I was trying to. So the lesson there is it's way too much size. There really wasn't a catalyst from what I remember on that one. SATS, that one just chopped me up. I traded that unnecessarily. That was just really oversizing it. Because a little bit of a slower mover. ADR there, 3.81. That was just like that. That was throwing money away. Mara, now the Mara, that was actually a play where, go to Mara. So it broke out here and I took it long, knowing that it's probably going to fail and I'm ready. I really wanted to short it. So I ended up taking a short. So it broke out. It wanted to go higher. And then it's like, no, this anchored VWAP was like from here. It's like, no. All the people that bought there capitulated here. So that was actually not a bad loss. I think these first two going forward, I mean, Acon, that really size should have been reduced. And SATS there's just no need to even take that trade from what I remember at the time. The rest of these, maybe a little bit over trading here. I tried this AEHR on a, thinking that maybe we get a bounce, oversold bounce, and we did, and I was up in that position. I let it play a little bit too long. But most of these are day trades. And if you look at if you basically, like, it goes back to like Mara is responsible for 90% of my gains from the week. Pretty much all my gains from the week is this Mara runner position. So a lot of your gains can come from like 1 or 2 positions. Something to keep in mind. Cool. So that's pretty much my recap.